Guys, this video right here is probably going to be one of the most important videos that I've made, okay? And one of the most meaningful videos that I've made. And the reason why, because this story right here about this Baltimore student who basically has damn near a 0 grade point average, 0 GPA, right, is ranked near the top half of his class, okay? And the parent is being told that basically her child has not been passing any of his classes, right? Even though he's ranked almost in the top half, and that he has to now go back to 9th grade, right? He got to start over, and they're making a big hoopla over this, blaming the school, blaming everybody else except where the problem lies. The problem is 99% of the time with the parent. It is on the parent. One of the reasons why I am conservative and I am a Republican, because I have no faith in the government to do anything right. Right? I would not have faith in the government to educate my children. Okay? And that's something that people got to think about before they start having them. Okay? And that's a conversation that a lot of people need to start having. Okay? Because the liberals want the government to be a fail-safe for bad decisions. Right? But you got to realize you can never rely on the government to be your fail-safe. They will always fail because the government is corrupt and they're inefficient. Okay? This you got to understand about government. The government that is as big as the United States government is as corrupt and crooked as the United States government. I mean, this even applies to the state governments too, especially in these liberal cities. You cannot rely on them to educate your child. You are responsible for that as a parent, first and foremost. So let's get into this video here and listen to this story because I have a lot to say about this. A lot.
Tonight, an alarming discovery out of a Baltimore City high school where hundreds of students are failing.
As Project Baltimore's Chris Papps explains, we found a student who's passed 3 classes in 4 years and is ranked near the top half of his class.
We're not letting none of this get the best of us. All right? Be strong, son. We got this.
He's stressed, and I am too. Like, I told him I probably would start crying. Like, my son is, I don't know what to do for him.
This coming June is when Tiffany France thought her son would receive his diploma.
And I'm just trying to fight. He like, Mom, what was all this for? What did I do this for? Like, don't he get a chance? Do he get a chance?
Well, what do you mean what he do this for? He didn't do nothing. That's why he's not going to graduate, because he did nothing.
But after 4 years of high school, this mom just learned her 17-year-old has to start over. He's been moved back to 9th grade.
Why would he do 3 more years in school?
Because he did nothing. Okay? And see, she's sitting her up here and she's boo-hooing crying. A lot of people will say, oh, you know, you're not really feeling for her. You're not accounting for her feelings. Nah, I don't want to hear any of that. She's boo-hoo crying because she knows that she has to be responsible for him to be back in school where he can't get a full-time job and basically be less of a problem in her life. That's what she's crying about. That's what the real issue is with her. Okay? It's the fact that she's not going to have a babysitter 8 hours a day anymore. Right? Because if you cared about your child being educated, you wouldn't be boo-hoo crying because he got to go back to 9th grade after you found out, like, damn, you don't know nothing. What you cry about for? Hey, you got to go back and learn. I want you to be educated first and foremost. But that's not what we're saying here.
He didn't fail. The school failed him. The school failed.
No, you failed him. You failed him. You failed him because you allowed your child to go to a bad school. A lot of people are going to find that controversial. But I'm saying this because people got to understand, you cannot rely on the government to educate your child. You have to educate your child first, and that has to start young. Okay? If you're not in a position to bring your child up in this world in which you're going to be able to provide them with a quality education, in which you're going to have a choice in terms of where they go to school, right? You're going to make sure if they do go to a publicly run school that you live in a good neighborhood with high property values. So that way, you know that property tax money that they use to funnel in those schools, you know that because you live in a good neighborhood that your kids are going to have a good public school education. Otherwise, if you can afford it, you might want to send them to private school. But if you're growing up in poverty and you haven't had enough money, you haven't made enough money, or you're not on a trajectory to make enough money to move to a place where you're going to be able to send your child to a good school, then you probably shouldn't have kids in the first place. You shouldn't have kids in the first place. That's the truth. Because honestly, at the end of the day, a lot of these schools are bad because, one, they are underfunded, but at the same time, there's large class sizes, okay? And you got bad kids, right, that come from impoverished backgrounds that go to these schools. Listen, why have a child if you know that you're not going to be able to get out of your impoverished situation? That's something you need to think about before you have a child. You should understand the quality of education that's associated with bringing up a child in an impoverished situation. It is what it is.
At their job, they failed. That's the problem here. They failed. He didn't deserve that.
France's son attends Augusta Fells Savage Institute of Visual Arts in West Baltimore. His transcripts show in 4 years, he has passed just 3 classes.
Look at this. Look at this. It's a damn shame. Look at this. Algebra 1, F. American government, F. I mean, I get this. I bet this man don't even know the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. He don't even know the 3 branches of the government. Biology, 56. English, 60. Fine arts, drama, easy class, 57. F. Fundamental arts, 67. Got a B in PE? Who gets a B in PE? Everybody get an A in PE. Man got an F in personal fitness. So that means he's probably sitting at home all day playing 2K. That's probably what he's doing. Sitting at home all day playing 2K. And an SAT math prep, they got a class specific. See, this is what they call. They say, yeah, this is a bad school, but this bad school has an SAT prep for math. So this bad school has a class to prep people for SATs. I didn't have that in high school, right? And I went to a pretty good high school. Okay, I didn't have that. I had to buy my own stuff and prepare for my own SAT.
2.5 credits, which places him in 9th grade. But France says she didn't know that until February.
See, and this is what I'm talking about. How do you not know that? See, as a parent, why are you not asking your child for his grades? Hey, it's been a quarter. I need to see your report card. And if you haven't seen the report card, then you need to be calling the school asking the teacher, where's my child report card? I need to know what his grades are. I need to know how my child doing. But see, she's not doing that. But she's turning around and blaming everybody else except her, when it's obvious that she is the number one person at fault here. Her and her child.
3 children and works 3 jobs. She thought her oldest son was doing well because even though he failed most of his classes, he was being promoted.
So you heard that she works 3 jobs and she has 3 children. A lot of super liberals will be like, well, see, you know, see, that's the problem. It's a shame that she has to be in this environment, in this world where she has to work 3 jobs to feed her 3 kids. She shouldn't have had them. That's the whole point. If she has to work 3 jobs, she shouldn't have had the kids. And people say, well, that was a mistake. She shouldn't be punished. Well, she made 3 mistakes. I mean, how many mistakes do you got to make to realize that, hey, this probably not a good idea for me to keep popping out kids. And I got to work 3 jobs where I can't educate my kids and take care of my kids. Again, people want to reward mistakes. Okay? When people make mistakes, it's not the government's job to be a failsafe for that. That's not the government's job. And I would never trust the government to do that. That's why I'm not even blaming the school, because I don't expect anything good from some of these publicly funded schools. Unless I live in a really good neighborhood where I'm paying the taxes associated with my school better be good that my child's going to.
His transcripts show he failed Spanish 1 and Algebra 1, but was promoted to Spanish 2 and Algebra 2.
And see, don't this sound like affirmative action? Don't it sound like affirmative action? This is what a lot of these people want. Oh, y'all should have affirmative action. Here you go right now. You saying affirmative action right now. In action. And it is producing kids that are dumb as a box of rocks.
He also failed English 2, but was passed on to English 3.
I'm just assuming that if you are passing, that you have the proper things, to go to the next grade. And, the right grades, you have the right credits.
As we dig deeper into her son's records, we can see in his first 3 years at Augusta Fells, he failed 22 classes and was late or absent 272 times.
See, because he was at home playing 2K. That's what he was doing. He won't even going to school. Man won't even showing up to class. She didn't even know. She didn't even know. Matter of fact, I guarantee she did know. She's just playing up for the cameras, trying to blame the schools. Please put him back in 12th grade. Please allow him to graduate. I need a babysitter during the day, even though he won't even go to school. I mean, is he going to be able to get a job? What skills is this man going to have to be able to create a long-term future for himself? This is how the cycle of poverty continues. And it's really sad to see that the primary person that's responsible for this, which is the parent, is not taking responsibility for it. She's blaming everybody else except herself.
But in those 3 years, only one teacher requested a parent conference, which France says never happened. No one from the school told this mother her son was failing and not going to class.
Yeah.
France's son, in his 4 years at Augusta Fells, earned a grade point average of 0.13. He only passed 3 classes, but his transcripts show his class rank is 62 out of 120. This means nearly half of his classmates, 58 of them, have a GPA of 0.13 or lower.
He's a good kid. Like, he didn't deserve that. Where is the mentors? Where is the help for him? I hate that this is happening to my child.
In your opinion?
Yeah. If you hate this is happening for your child, then you should have waited until you was in a position to be able to send your child to a good school and to take the time to educate your child and to be responsible for your child's education before you had them. That's what this comes down to. And this is the hardcore truth, because the government is not going to help anybody get out of these situations. The government is not going to stop the cycle of poverty, even if the government did everything right. Because some people just make bad choices. A lot of people make bad choices. And when you make bad choices like this, when you continue to pop out kid after kid after kid, and she's probably a single mother, where the dad at? Obviously, dad is not there. Father's not in the household. This is what happens. And at the end of the day, she's crying for what? Your child is not educated. You should be happy that your child is going to get educated, that he has to go back to 9th grade and he has to go and learn how to read and do some math before he graduate high school, before he get that diploma. You should want your child to have a basic education, but she's not concerned about that. She's not concerned about education. She's concerned about the fact that he's not graduating high school. He's not getting a little diploma. He's not getting a participation trophy. No, you don't get a participation trophy. You gotta pass those classes. He's about to be out here in our society with no education, nothing to contribute. This is a damn shame, man. But stuff like this, guys. Like I said, stories like this, the liberals try to use this to pull at people's heartstrings, to vouch for certain government policies that I just think are completely ridiculous, when a lot of this stuff is really on the parents. And this story right here is on the parent. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.